more than $2.2 million in illegal cannabis products seized in Los Angeles toy district, you guys. The state said a recent operation led by the governor's Unified Cannabis Enforcement Task Force investigated 11 stores, with many of them allegedly manufacturing and selling illicit packaging that authorities say are used to lure children. In a quote, illegal packaging is dangerous to consumers, especially when it is ripping off well-known brands that are attractive to children and needs to be removed from the marketplace, Department of Cannabis Control Director Nicole Elliott said in a statement. Legal marijuana products must be tested and met with health safety standards for consumption to have the state-sanctioned cannabis symbol on their packaging. Any business that is legally selling or storing the packaging must be licensed with the Department of Cannabis Control or have paperwork proving their transactions with legal cannabis businesses licensed by the state. The governor's Unified Cannabis Enforcement Task Force has seized nearly $500 million worth of illicit cannabis since 2022, in addition to eradicating 470,435 illegal cannabis plants, the state said, you guys. Well, I heard. And do we have a video to play on this, Millie?
Please no.
No? Okay, all right, sorry. We do not have the video to play for you guys, but nonetheless.
They went and got those cookies bags out of downtown LA, Jason.
Apparently so.
But that's where you get the gold money counters.
I heard they got a whole bunch of stuff out there, from what I heard. I've seen a couple different stories, and apparently this was targeting the packaging producers that produce all of the packaging. And I heard they got some printers and all kinds of other stuff.
Oh man, sticker traps.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as a brand in California, it's always been really annoying, and we always had to do different things with our packaging to make sure it couldn't be copied, but then you're probably sending it to a Chinese manufacturer who's probably going to copy it, sell it to them anyway, so it's just, we had to come up with the scan codes. We had to come up with all kinds of ways to be like, no, this really came from us. That Disty cart you got probably ain't it. So I don't know. I think it's interesting, but I think it's crazy they pulled a bunch of product out as well. Sounds like.
Exactly. Sounds crazy to me. Any thoughts on this, Omar? Dale?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a novel approach going after the packaging sellers, because generally they'd be like, oh, that's protected by the First Amendment, or, there's nothing illegal in that. You can sell packaging. But now that they're really connecting the dots, I see, they're finally making an effort to figure it out. A lot of these enforcement actions continue to be no arrest. So it's just basically like, catch and release type of enforcement actions. And the deterrent effect of catch and release is minimal. And so until there's, but at the same time, do we need to put people into cages for cannabis-related activity? Because our Prop 64 didn't fully legalize cannabis, and that's why there is such a thriving illicit market, the legacy market. I don't know. These are all very complicated questions, but I do think that it's a new approach, but to me it's more catch and release, whack-a-mole. It's ultimately ineffective.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've represented enough businesses to know that they're not making it easy on businesses in this state. And as Jenny said, you turn yourself into a pretzel to try and meet all these regulations, where no other industry has to do this. And I don't like anybody marketing to children. I think that's a bad business model. Mm-hmm. But a lot of the people doing this are not in legitimate business. Okay, the businesses I represent, they want to know what is it they don't want to see. It's called marketing to children, and will not do that. But for people who are not in the industry, legal industry, I would say, that's not as big a concern for them, but it still is a problem. And I would just point out that until they take away all these restrictions, we're going to continue to see these games being played here, because this is just not an industry where you can come into it, get legitimate money, have legitimate business people come in and do it, and then not be screwed with by the regulators. It's just not there yet. We're still playing around with this. And A lot of it has to do with our local control here in California, where we have these areas where you can really be hard ass about it, other places where they're not, and there's really not a lot of consistency. And of course, the black market or the trap market, it's just thriving because we're not making this easy enough for legitimate owners of these businesses to be able to make their nut and to thrive. So, it's trap shop stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, is that Omar the Bigger Figueroa?
Yay, good to see you, Rico.
Oh, Rico, welcome to work.
Yeah, welcome, Rico. Rico, we just went
welcome
over
to
your
work.
story. What do you think?
I've been working for like 4 hours now. East Coast time.
What do you think
never.
about this, Rico? This was your story that we just went over.
Okay, cool. No, I appreciate that. My biggest takeaways from it, man. Twofold. Number one, I think it's very interesting how Gavin Newsom is leaning toward two things. I'm trying to get away from that limousine liberal